In this video, I'm just going to demonstrate using some of the EQ parameters in order to shape the bass drum. It'll be very quick, just demonstrating the solo in frequencies, which is that command shift and then selecting the frequency and then sweeping the area. I'll be using the Q, which adjusts the value of it, and I'm just going to show my kind of thought process. So just listen to the bass drum quickly. So there's a bit of muddiness to it. So I'm going to find that. I'm going to do that by Control Shift. Okay, so I'm looking for the boxiness of it. So in around here, if I go a bit further, it has like a bit of a cardboard box frequency going on. That's okay. It's this bit in around here that's horrible. So what I'm going to do is just going to do that. I'm just going to now drop the gain a bit. So when I let go, it'll then invert this and I'll just remove this part of the EQ. So I'm just going to bypass that. It's just opened up the bass drum for me a little bit, so I'm just going to keep that and maybe just make that a bit wider. Now what I want to do is apply a little bit more of the low end, and instead of I'm going to use a shelf for the minute. I'm just going to roll this back a touch and start sort of somewhere around about 90 hertz, and I'm just going to lift this up. So it's just brought a bit more of the weight of the bass drum. So if I bypass that, and I'm just going to remove now some of this super low end. So just tightens it up. So I bypass that. Just feels a bit tighter now. Not so flabby. I could just give it a little bit more low end again. And if I bypass entirely, yeah, I'm liking that. I'm just going to open up the gate a bit more. Open up the Q a bit more. And now I want to bring out some of the click. So I'm going to look for that. So I'm going to find the frequency and just go Control Shift. So it's there. And I'm going to lift this up. I'm going to keep the Q value as it is for the minute. So bypass the click. So it just brightens that little where the bass. So it's just brightening up the beta as it hits the bass drum. So I'm just going to play it, and I'm just going to bypass and just listen to the difference there. And again, I've added sort of 4 dB. Maybe I don't need so much of that, but it's a case of using your ears. Don't be drawn into what it looks like. Close your eyes, listen to what it sounds like, and then make the judgment. Have you made it sound better or worse? So here we go. Pressing play. So I'm going to have it off first. So when it's out, it now starts to feel quite flat. Now I've actually sculpted some of the sound out. It has a bit more depth and has a bit more character to it. The other thing as well that you want to look at with the high pass filter is, as a knock-on effect, if you're going to compress it, by addressing the low end and having control of that low end, then you are not then triggering the compressor too early. But that's for another time. But just bear that in mind. Lower frequencies have more energy, and if they are coming through, they may cause a compressor to trigger beforehand, depending on what you're doing. So that's why it's important to use a high pass filter, especially when you start getting into using vocals. So that's with the bass drum, and I'll do some others to do with the snare and a vocal.